Are you having a hard time achieving the goals that you set for yourself and being more productive? We're coming up on a new year, and today we're getting back to basics. We're talking about what you can do to make sure those goals get accomplished. We'll see you on the inside. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from the Songwriter's Planner. You're visiting me today at the Songwriter's Podcast. I appreciate you coming by. If you're new, if this is your first time, you picked a great episode to visit us today. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm going to fit it all in. Hopefully we can get through it all, but I just wanted to thank you guys for swinging by. It's been an amazing year of podcasting. Man, I cannot even fathom how I got this far on the podcast so far. So if you've been checking out these episodes, man, thank you so much. We are at the end of 2018 now. And man, what a year. It's been a real pleasure and a real honor to put these podcasts on for you guys. And I know that I've gotten some feedback from you on some topics that I could talk about and how much what I have talked about in the past has helped you and some suggestions on what I can improve upon. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. All feedback is cool with me. I really do believe that it helps make this a better service to musicians and artists out there who are, as I always say, my favorite kinds of people. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate it out there. So like I said, this is the end of 2018. Wow. And what I wanted to do today on today's podcast is I wanted to bring it back down to the basics of what the Songwriter's Planner is about, what I'm all about, and what hopefully comes across to you folks when in these podcasts and all of the content that I do put out online between the blogs and the podcasting and the social media posting. What we're talking about today is how to be more productive, how to achieve the goals you set for yourself, the most bare bones basic principles that you can do as an artist and a musician, how to achieve these goals. It's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, okay, set a goal and try to achieve it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Why? Because accomplishing goals and being productive is a learned behavior, believe it or not. It is something that you have to learn how to do, especially if you want to do it long term. And it's not something that we all just immediately pick up. We are especially artists, we're very prone to lagging behind or not getting to the tasks that we think are important for us. And that is the bare bones basic reason why I decided to come up with a planner, because I've embraced these tactics myself, and I wanted to help guide you folks to be your guide to be more productive in achieving goals. That is what I'm all about, and to serving you folks on how you can do that as well. And I think that the musician community, the artist community needs this the most, because you usually hear about goal setting and goal planning. You hear that in the corporate world, you hear that in the business world, but you don't really hear that in the artistic world. And that is the bridge I hope to gap. So as I said, if you have been consuming this content, then you probably are familiar with this theme because I say it a lot. But it's all about achieving goals and time management skills, and learning skills to manage your time to achieve your goals, to be more productive. If you cannot manage your time, if you cannot take control of the time you have, then you're not going to put in the time to accomplish the goals that you set or be productive in that sense. So that's what we're talking about today. And we've got a lot to get through, so let's jump right into it, okay? So defining a goal, okay? Everybody knows what a goal is. Something that you'd like to achieve over a period of time. Putting out an album, releasing your album, that's a goal. Every band, every artist that I know has had that goal. Playing a certain show, opening for a certain band, or playing at a certain venue. These are all goals that I think are very common to artists and musicians. Joining a band, finding a band, that's another goal. Learning how to play a certain song on your instrument, on guitar, on bass, whatever, that's another goal. Okay, these are all things that we have all done at one point or another, and these are all defined as goals that musicians and artists have. Okay, pretty easy stuff. We all know about those. So what are the steps to achieving these goals? What are the very first things that we need to think about when we want to achieve these goals that we set for ourselves? Okay. First step is you want to identify what the goal is. If you've got more than one, then identify all of them. Identify them, find out, tell yourself what is it that you want to accomplish. That would be the first step, right? The second step would be to find out what it's going to take to accomplish that goal. Now, you may not always know what exactly you need to do to get to the point that you want to be at. You may just think, okay, I want to play this venue. I want to audition for this band. I want to, like I said, release this album. I want to learn how to record. But you may not know the exact steps that you need to get there. So there is a time where you need to find out what it is that you need to do to get to this goal. Because if you don't find out what you need, then you're kind of a plan never gets put in place. And it's all about planning when it comes to achieving your goals. So finding out what it is that you need to do to get to that point would be the second step to achieving your goal, okay? The last step would be, and the most important, well, actually, they're all important, but this one is the most highly, I would say, the one that a lot of us fall down on, that we don't always get to, and that is implementing the steps that you need to take to get to achieve your goals, the implementation. You can discuss your goals all day, write them down, talk about them, think about them. But if you never take action, if you never go in and actually do the steps, actually go through the steps and take action to achieve those goals, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. It's always going to be a pipe dream. And there's a famous saying that goes, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So you have to plan, you have to implement. And that is the 3 steps to making sure that your goals get accomplished, I should say. Now, we're going to dive deeper into that. That's kind of like the high level 3-step, process to achieving your goals. I wasn't going to let you go that easy. We got a lot more to talk about, but I wanted to take a moment and talk about a few things that derail our concentration and our focus to achieving goals. There's a few caveats out there that we've all encountered. I've been guilty of them, and I wanted to guide you through these so that you are aware of them, and that when they start happening, you can identify them as goal derailment problems. Okay. The first granddaddy of them all, the first problem that can arise is procrastination. And everybody procrastinates. It is the killer of goals. It is a killer of motivation. And the reason why procrastination is so dangerous is because it's so addictive. It's so addictive to be able to just put something off and kind of devalue it. Because once you do it one time, it's so easy to keep doing it. And what you thought was something that you wanted to accomplish is now just being pushed aside. And that's kind of a shame, because the more you do that, the more you're not going to get to where you want to be. And this is all about making progress and moving forward as an artist. So procrastination is the granddaddy of them all because it's so easy to do. It's like crack, man. It's like, well, you do it once, you get addicted, and it's just so easy to keep doing it and stay where you are. But we want to make progress. We want to move. So therefore, we have to get procrastination out of the way. How do you beat procrastination? You just do the thing that you set out to do. But a tip, it's easier said than done. Just make sure that the things that you decide to do, keep them small. At first, keep them small, keep them bite-sized, and you'll have less chances of procrastination if you have smaller tasks, smaller goals to achieve. If you set these lofty goals, these big goals, it's so easy to just kind of get overwhelmed and be like, no, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. So procrastination, watch out for that. The next would be fear of failure, fear of it not working out, fear of not putting in enough time to get things done, fear of not being good enough, fear of people telling you, belittling your motivation to chase these goals, fear of what other people are going to think, man. It's just fear. That is another caveat that you have to think about and that you have to avoid when you really, really are serious about achieving the goals that you want. You have to put fear aside. You have to put the work, the confidence that you have and the work that you've put in up front. You have to put the passion up front. Those things come first. The fear comes second. We're always going to be afraid of achieving things and going off and doing different things and staying out of the box and trying new things. And usually when you try to accomplish certain goals, it requires you to get out of your comfort zone. It requires you to get out and be uncomfortable. And that's where fear can kick in. So fear is always going to be there. But if you don't, you have to move past it. And if you don't do that, then you'll never get started. Okay, so fear is another one. And another one, the last one I'll talk about today, is the lack of planning, the lack of preparation that you can miss out on when you're trying to accomplish a certain goal. Okay, we all have the same amount of hours in the day, and how you plan and how you schedule is going to determine how much time you can put towards the goals and the tasks and everything that you need to do to achieve your goals. So learning how to plan, learning how to schedule your time is a super important skill to get you closer, to get you better, to gain the knowledge and the expertise on how to accomplish goals. Okay, like I said, I go back to saying, this is something that is a learned behavior, and the better you get at it, the more experience you get, the better you're going to get. And that's why I say we need to start small. It's just like anything else. When you first learned your instrument, or you first learned to sing, or you first learned something, you started small, right? You played simple songs, you played simple riffs. Well, learning how to accomplish goals works the exact same way. You have to start small, start managing your time a little by little, okay? So those are a couple caveats that I wanted to talk about before we jump into what we really need to do to make sure that we accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves. Like I said, the 3 steps to achieving your goals were identify them, identify the tasks that are needed to achieve them, and implement. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drill down into those 3 steps, and we're going to drill down even further and get more detailed, because I don't want to leave you guys with just some generic general reasons. Oh yeah, all you got to do is this 3-step process, and next thing you know, you're going to be playing Carnegie Hall. Nope, doesn't work like that. So what we want to do is drill down a little bit further and find out, really get into the guts of what it is that will allow you to do those 3 things and avoid the caveats and avoid the problems. Okay, what's going to allow you to do that? What is it? What is the secret to being more productive in achieving your goals? Okay. Are you ready? Okay, well, it's really not that big of a secret, actually. But it is something that is very important and is the linchpin of all of these things, okay? The way that we're going to achieve more and be more productive and achieve our goals is to install habits, okay? Now, I'm not talking about picking your nose or scratching your butt. I'm talking about installing productive habits within your life. Now, this is something that you may have to think about for a little bit. What are productive habits, okay? As far as achieving your goals, there are 4 productive habits that I want you to think about and I want to guide you through, because they're the most important things that you need to think about and that we'll need to get through in order to get to the point where you're achieving your goals. Okay. The first one is when you've decided what your goals are, or what your goal is. Let's keep it simple. When you've decided exactly what your goal is, it goes along with identifying your goals and then finding out what it takes to achieve those goals. You need to do the research and learning. Okay, make it a habit to do research and learning about what it is that you need to do to achieve your goal. Okay, you want to release your album, for example. Okay, great. Let's find out what it takes to do that. Research it. Okay, you got to go to a recording studio, right? Research how much is it going to cost? How are we going to get that money? Learn the process of the recording. Okay, who has to be there in the recording process? Learn as much as you can about what it is that you want to accomplish, so you'll be better informed and well-rounded about and know exactly the amount of work it's going to take. Educate yourself on what it is that you want to accomplish. The more you know about what it is you want to do, the better off you're going to be. Researching and learning is super important because you're basically going to enlighten yourself about what it is that it's going to take to do the goal that I want. Because goals are romantic. Setting a goal is so romantic, man. It's like, yeah, I want to open for this band, or I want to sell, this many songs online. It's really romantic to dream about these things, but this is where we get to the reality side of it. Now we find out exactly what it is that it's going to take to get there. And the researching and learning habit is going to tell you what that is. And there is millions and millions of resources on the internet to find out exactly what it is you want to do. I guarantee it. If I can find out how to change my headlamp on my Jeep on the internet, you can find out whatever you need to find out. And in this case, we're finding out about music goals and, say, for our example, recording studio. There are a million resources out there. There's videos, there's blogs, there's podcasts. So there's no excuse into saying, well, I didn't know where to look. Okay, that excuse does not fly. You know where to look. You got to go to the internet. But that is what's so beautiful about doing this in this day and age, is that we have all these resources available to us and there really is no excuses. Okay. So the first habit is research and learn. Install that habit. Spend time to doing that. Okay. The second habit you want to install is, and this actually holds up all the other habits, but learn how to schedule, learn how to manage your time. Okay, installing a habit where you start scheduling your time and you start planning what it is that you need to get done is I cannot stress how important that is, because everybody, like I said, everybody has the same amount of hours in the day. Okay, we may not all have the same amount of money, but I guarantee you got 24 hours in a day, and so do I. And whatever you do with that time is up to you, and scheduling and planning ahead is going to give you that leg up. It's going to give you that advantage when it comes to learning about your goals, and when it comes to scheduling time to do the things necessary to achieve those goals. Time management, to me, and hopefully to you, is very important. It's super important, especially for musicians and artists. Even though we may not be known to be great time managers, it's a skill that I think needs to be introduced more into the world of music and artistry, because it's very important, and it'll allow you to schedule the things that you need to do to get done so that you can achieve these goals and be more productive at the same time. Okay. So I'll probably go on and do another podcast some other time about time management itself. To me, it's just an amazing topic, and I'm very fascinated with managing time. So we'll talk about that another time, but just think that is going to be the second habit you need to install to get more done. Okay. And the third habit goes along with the third step for achieving your goals, and that is implementing. Install the habit to implement the things you need to do. Again, implementation is everything. Talking about stuff, talking about your goals, talking about what you're going to do, talking about what you should be doing and all this stuff, it means nothing unless you implement. Okay, everybody's got ideas. Everybody's got things they want to do. You got to be the person that actually does it. You got to be the person that actually implements it and puts their hands in the dirt and walks the walk and talks the talk. If you can be that person, then you are going to be more productive than the rest of your peers, and you're going to achieve more in a shorter amount of time than anybody else is going to. But it's not about everybody else, it's about you. So implementing your ideas and doing the things that you say you're going to do is what's going to separate you from the pack. It's going to separate you from everybody else that just talks. Okay? Implementation and doing it is, again, so important to achieving your goals. And a lot of people fall down at this step because they just don't want to implement. Why? Procrastination, like we talked about, fear, lack of planning, or just lazy. Or maybe it's just not a priority. It just really is not a priority. So be the person that implements. It's easy to be the person who plans and talks, and you can even research, but if you don't implement, then forget it. Okay, so that is the third habit I want you to think about installing into your time. And the last one I'm going to talk about is consistency. Be consistent about all those things, the research and the planning. Be consistent about the scheduling your time every week, every month. Be consistent about implementing. Just be consistent. Being consistent is going to guarantee that you'll gain experience from the process of all of these 4 things I'm talking about. If you're consistent with it, that means you're going to learn faster. That means you're going to make mistakes faster, which you then learn from. Okay. It's all about really making the most mistakes the fastest, because if you can learn from those mistakes, now you're making progress. But if you don't implement and you don't research and you don't hit those things, it'll take you forever to make a mistake. And guess what? It's going to take you longer to learn from those mistakes. So consistent implementation, consistent research and learning, all those things, those are very important. Consistent scheduling and planning. Doing these things on a regular basis on schedule is going to get you farther, faster. It's going to get you there, get you to your goals farther and faster, okay? Those are the 4 crucial habits that I'd like to guide you through, and I wanted to share you through, that will get you to a point where you're being more productive, learning more because you're making mistakes and you're having small wins. And and all that does is get you closer to the goal that you want to accomplish. That is the secret. That is the secret to getting more done and achieving the things you want to achieve. It's really, really simple to talk about, but sometimes it's harder to do. Okay. And it really comes down to implementing the ideas that you have, following these 4 habits, avoiding the caveats, and guiding yourself along those 3 steps that we talked about. Installing these habits are crucial. Installing habits are like oxygen and air. You need them to breathe. You need them to survive if you want to do more with your music and you want to accomplish goals for your music on your own. And I stress that a lot, on your own, because you are on your own and no one else is going to do this for you. You got to do it yourself. And if you can learn how to do these things yourself, the better off you're going to be and the more power you're going to have if another offer comes by. Who's going to work harder than you on your stuff? I'm telling you right now, no one is going to work harder on you. Why? Because it's your music, it's your career, it's your passion. So if you can learn to install these habits right off the bat, you're now empowering yourself as an artist and a musician, saying, I have the skills to do these things. Look at what I've built so far. Look at what I've accomplished so far. And because I've done these things on my own, I have the faith and the trust to know that I can do things that I haven't accomplished yet. Why? Because I have that experience. I have that knowledge. I have all of that wrapped up here. And I know that now whatever comes at me this way, I know what to do. I know those challenges. I know how to face them. Why? Because I've done all this. And that's what accomplishing goals and moving forward and making progress is all about, guys. That is the backbone of it all. So there's a lot of things in this podcast that were bullet points, but I can definitely dive into them on another podcast next year in 2019. Wow. I'm definitely looking forward to expanding these things and talking more with them about you. I know these productivity podcasts are a little more popular because everybody wants to be productive and everybody wants to get things done. And I am right there with you, hopefully guiding you, hopefully experiencing your journey as well. And on that note, I just want to say also, let me know what you guys think. Send me feedback. You can hit me up on my Facebook page. You can always email me, mike@songwritersplan.com, as well as hit me up on my Facebook Live events, which I'll be coming up. My first one will be on January 3rd, Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I would love to talk to you guys in real time and have you talk to me instead of me just always talking to you. So thanks again for joining this podcast, guys. It's been a great year. 2018 was a blast. I'm looking forward to 2019. And I really appreciate you guys sticking around. We'll see you on the next podcast. Peace and love.